Hello and welcome to my science tutorials. In this video, we want to be looking at magnetic circuits, or we'll be looking precisely at magnetic flux and magnetic flux density. Right, so before we begin, let's look at some basic terminologies that we use in magnetic flux and magnetic flux density, as in magnetic circuit in general. So the first terminology you want to look at is what is a magnet. So what is a magnet? Okay, so a magnet is a material or device that generates a magnetic field. A magnet is a material or device that generates a magnetic field. It acts as a source of magnetomotive force, or mmf, in the circuit. So we are saying that a magnet is a material or device that generates a magnetic field. So we'll be looking at what a magnetic field is very soon. That generates a magnetic field. It also acts as a source of mmf, which is a magnetomotive force. Magnetomotive force. We'll be looking at what a magnetomotive force is very soon. mmf, okay, in the circuit. All right, so this is what a magnet is: a material or a device that generates a magnetic field. Now, another term we want to look at is what is a permanent magnet. Okay, so the next term is a permanent magnet. A permanent magnet. So when we talk about a permanent magnet, this refers to a piece of ferromagnetic material, okay, that can be either iron, nickel, or cobalt, which has the properties of attracting other pieces of magnetic materials. Okay, so a permanent magnet is a piece of ferromagnetic material which has the property of attracting other pieces of material. So this is a piece of ferromagnetic material. Okay, example is either iron, nickel, or even cobalt. Okay, which has the properties of attracting other pieces of materials. Okay, so that is what a permanent magnet is. So now a permanent magnet will position itself in a north and south direction when freely suspended. The north-seeking pole, or the north-seeking end of the magnet, is what we call the north pole, or N, and then the south-seeking pole is what we call the south pole, or S. So when we suspend a magnet, okay, using a thread, you see that the magnet will align in a way that the north-seeking pole of the magnet will be facing the north pole of the earth, and then the south-seeking pole will be facing the south part of the earth. Now, the area around the magnet is called the magnetic field, and it is this area that the effect of magnetic force produced by the magnet is detected. So the area around the magnet over here, okay, is what we are calling the magnetic field, and that is the area where the magnetic force of the magnet is actually felt. So if we have a piece of magnet like this, where this is the north and this is the south, how does the magnetic flux move around in this magnetic area? So let's look at the direction of the magnetic flux in this particular direction. So the magnetic force is actually felt, or is from this direction, which we call the magnetic flux. It moves from the north pole to the south pole in both directions. Okay, so we have from the north to the south, north to south, north to south. This is how it moves. Okay, so from the north to the south. So to show that, we use arrows to show that it is moving from the north to the south, from the north to the south. Okay, so yes, like this, like this, and like this. Okay, so this shows these lines are what we are calling the magnet or the magnetic flux. Okay, this is the magnetic flux, and the area around where the magnetic flux is felt is what we are calling the magnetic field. Now what happens if we have two magnets close to each other, and we have the like poles together and then the unlike poles together? So let's look at case 1. Okay, so when we have two magnets together and then we see that opposite poles are towards each other, so this is the north, this is the south, this is the north, and this is the south, we realize that there is an attraction between these two magnets. So the magnetic flux will move from the the north pole over here to move from the north pole to the south pole over here. Okay, this will also move like this, north to south, north to south, and then north to south, to move like this. Okay, then for this north over here, it will move all this way and then be attracted to the south over here. Okay, to move in this direction. Okay, so this one will also move in this direction, north to south, north to south. Okay, in this direction. Okay, so that is how the magnetic field or the magnetic flux will be drawn. So from the north to the south, like this, north to south, north to the south, north to the south. Okay, so this is when we have opposite poles. Okay, they will attract each other. So now the second case is when we have like poles. So this is unlike poles. Okay, so we say unlike poles attract. Now when we have like poles facing each other, they repel. So this is how it is going to look like. So we have our magnet, so this is our south, this is our north in this case, and then the other magnet, we have our north here and then our south over here. So we realize that the flux will be coming from the north side of each pole. Okay, so they cannot meet, so they will go in this direction. Okay, as in they will repel each other, but then some will be able to move from the north over here to the south of the same magnet. This one as well, it will be like this, and then the other ones coming out over here will be attracted to the south over here. For this guy, it will also be the same thing, like this. Okay, like this, and then this. Okay, so we use the arrows to show the direction of flow of the flux. So this one from north to south, north to south, like this. Okay, all right, very good. So this is how they are going to be. So in case they ask you to draw something like this, this is how you do it. All right, now let's look at some definitions of some terms in magnetic flux and magnetic flux density. So when we talk about magnetic flux, this is the amount of magnetic field or the lines of force produced by a magnetic source. Okay, so magnetic flux, we are saying that the magnetic flux is the amount of magnetic field produced by a magnetic source, or the number of lines of magnetic force produced by a magnet. Now the magnetic flux, okay, is represented by the symbol phi. Okay, this symbol over here, phi. Okay, and then it is measured in Weber. It is measured in Weber, WB. Okay, this is what magnetic flux is. Now when we talk about magnetic flux density, okay, magnetic flux density, we are talking about the amount of flux in a particular area. So the magnetic flux density, this is the amount of flux passing through a defined area that is perpendicular to the direction of the flux. It is represented by B, capital B, then it is measured in Tesla. It is measured in Tesla or Weber per meter square. Okay, so now when we want to give the mathematical representation of magnetic flux density, B is equal to magnetic flux, which is phi over the area, or A, and then the unit is either Tesla or Weber per meter square. Now Weber per meter square because magnetic flux is measured in Weber, and then meter square is for the area over here, and so you can use this and this as the unit, or just give it a Tesla. So now that we know the definition of what magnetic flux is and magnetic flux density, as well as what the formula for magnetic flux density is, let's have a look at some problems to actually appreciate what we are doing. Okay, so we have example number 1. A magnetic pole face has a rectangular section having dimensions of 200 millimeters by 100 millimeters. If the total flux density emerging from the pole is 150 microweber, we are to calculate the flux density. All right, this is a very simple solution, so let's go ahead and look at that. Okay, so we are saying that a magnetic pole has a rectangular face with the dimension. So the dimension is by 200 millimeters by 100 millimeters. So if the total flux emerging, okay, so the total flux over here, phi, is 150 microweber, we are to calculate the flux density, which is B, and that is what we don't know. But from definition, we know that magnetic flux density B is equal to magnetic flux phi over the area. Okay, and then the area in this case, since it is a rectangular pole, it will be length times breadth or width, which has been given to us as the dimension over here. So the first thing I have to do is to convert the dimensions from millimeters to meters. So to do that, the milli here is times 10 raised to the power minus 3. So I have 200 times 10 raised to the power minus 3 meters for the first dimension, and then the second one will be 100 times 10 raised to the power minus 3 meters as the second one. So if I multiply these two to get my area, okay, so which definitely means area will be equal to let me say the 100 times 10 raised to the power minus 3 multiplied by the 200 times 10 raised to the power minus 3, and so therefore the area in this case will be 0.02 meters squared as the area for this magnetic pole. Now if you look at the magnetic flux given to us, it is in microweber, so if we convert it, we are going to get our phi to be equal to 150 micro is times 10 raised to the power minus 6 weber, and so therefore we have all the parameters that we need to do our calculation. So from here, all I need to do is write equal to, okay, now my magnetic flux is 150 times 10 raised to the power minus 6 over 0.02, okay, and if I compute this in my calculator, I am going to get 0.0075 Tesla or 0.0075 Weber per meter squared. Okay, so this is the answer for this particular problem. All right, so let's have a look at the second example. We have the maximum working flux density of a lifting electromagnet is 1.8 Tesla, and the effective area of a pole face is circular in cross section. If the total magnetic flux produced is 353 milliweber, we are to determine the radius of the pole surface. All right, so let's write a solution to this problem. So as you can see, we are saying that the maximum working flux density of a lifting electromagnet is 1.8 Tesla. So the flux density has been given to us, so B is equal to 1.8 Tesla. And then the effective area of a pole face is circular in cross section. Now because the the pole is circular in cross section, we are dealing with a pole that looks something like this. Okay, it can be long, it can be short, but all it tells us is that we have to find the area of a pole that looks like this. And to find this area, the formula we use is pi r square, not your regular length times breadth. Okay, so with that, we were told that if the total magnetic flux, which is phi, given to us is 353, okay, milli Weber. So milli is times 10 raised to the power minus 3. I've already converted it. Okay, we have to determine the radius of the pole, so we have to find the radius. So what I'll do is I'll quote the formula for magnetic flux density, which is B is equal to phi over A, which is area. But in this case, our area is equal to pi r square. So if we do the substitution, we are going to have B is equal to phi over pi r square. Okay, so from here I will interchange this position, or I cross multiply over here. My phi will be equal to b pi r square. So for me to find r square, I will divide both sides by b pi. So this will cancel this, so therefore my r square will be equal to phi over b pi. So from here I want r, not r square, so I take the root of both sides, and then this will cancel this. So therefore my radius, the formula for calculating the radius in this case, will be equal to the root of phi over b pi. Okay, so my radius in this case will be equal to the root of my phi given to me in this question is 353 times 10 raised to the power minus 3 all over the b that I was given is 1.8, and then I add the pi to it. So if I compute all this in my calculator, the root of the ratio 353 times 10 raised to the power minus 3 on 1.8 pi is going to give me a radius of 0.249848, which I can approximate as 0.25 meters as the radius in this particular case. All right, so that brings us to the end of today's tutorial. But before we go, these are 3 homeworks that I have for you guys. You can solve it and leave the answer in the comment section. I'll mark them and also solve them in another separate tutorial for you guys to see. So I have question number 1: what is the flux density in a magnetic field of a cross-sectional area 20 centimeters square having a flux density of 3 milli Weber? Number 2, we have to determine the total flux emerging from a magnetic pole face having dimensions 5 centimeter by 6 centimeter if the flux density is 0.9. And also the last one, the maximum working flux density of a lifting electromagnet is 1.9 Tesla, and the effective area of a pole face is circular in cross section. If the total magnetic flux produced is 611 milli Weber, we have to determine the radius of the pole face. Okay, so this is the homework that you have on magnetic flux and magnetic flux density. Kindly attempt them and leave your answer in the comment section below. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where I will be talking about magnetomotive force and magnetic field strength in magnetic circuit. So thank you once again, and bye bye.